Game On magazine is chatting to Milnay Louw, the South African women's national squash champion. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well. Thank you very much for having me.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for agreeing to do the interview with us. Let's start off with, how did you get involved in squash?
Well, my parents both play squash, so they just, my mom also needed a friend that her daughter also played, so they just asked me to come for the trial and see how I do, and I just got in the team, and everything just escalated from there. So it was started at a very young age of 9. So I've been playing for a while.
It definitely seems so. Let's talk about your support base. If you've been playing squash for so long, you would have had an incredible amount of people who have supported you throughout the years. Who would you say were those people?
Well, my parents definitely starting off doing all the traveling around South Africa and giving me the opportunity to go for coaching and everything like that. That definitely set the base work for me. So, but now it's a little bit different moving into the international circuit. Financially, it's quite expensive having to travel. So it's very hard to find a sponsorship to go and play events throughout the year. So it's a little bit of a struggle at this stage. So you're always looking for new opportunities for sponsorship.
Definitely. Milnay, let's talk a little bit about your role models. Who have you looked up to in the sport?
I think there's not one specific player I would say I look up to, but there's quite a big, if you look at different things from different players, that inspires me. So it's not one specific person, just a combination of different skills from different players around the world that I think is helpful.
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit about you. You're not only South Africa's champion, but you're also Namibia's champion as well. Let's talk a little bit about the international scene. Have you played a lot overseas? And if so, how do South Africans fare on the international stage?
I try, and the professional association works that you need to try and play a minimum of 10 events per year. And those events can be anywhere in the year as long as it's a registered event. So South Africa has been able to run 2 or maybe 3 events per year. That helps us, doesn't have to travel that far to be able to compete and earn points for world ranking. But you need to still travel overseas and compete in different countries for just basically to try and get into the event. So, and they are spread all over the world over the year. So just traveling around, trying to pull your world ranking up as high as you can get it.
Now, you obviously would have competed on the circuit. How do South African squash players fare on the international stage? How do they do on the international stage?
You get the different gradings in tournaments. So you get this. It works very similar than like tennis. You get the smaller events and you get the World Series events. So it's all different grading. So it's different levels of players that will enter, all depending on your world ranking. So South Africa players that do quite well in the smaller events. There's a few players that starting to do well in bigger events, especially from the men that we like lately. But we just need to. I don't think we get enough exposure to going out there and play. It's definitely to do with financial support as well. Not able to go and play all the events you'd like to.
Squash is one of those sports in South Africa, like many sports in South Africa, that have a lot of issues. There's no denying that. What do you think the issues are that face squash in South Africa, and how would you go about in rectifying those mistakes?
Oh, it's easy to point out mistakes, but it's always not as easy to get the solutions for it. But that's also one of the sad things is that South Africa, they select a team to represent South Africa at the World Team event every second year for the ladies. And I've been playing for the last few times. I've represented South Africa, and this year it's every second year. But South Africa weren't in a position to send a ladies team this year, so and that's being hosted in like a week's time. So it's sad in a way for us not being able to go and get the exposure. But it's also based on financial support as well.
you've heard it now from the South African national women's squash champion that finances is a huge problem in South African squash. So if there's anybody out there who would like to donate to the sport, please get into contact with the association and see how you can help our squash players achieve on the international stage. Milnay, let's move on to what are your aspirations? What else do you want to achieve in squash?
Well, I really like to be top 20 in the world. For that, I need to play more events, and that's my first main goal. And from there, I'll just take baby steps to work my way up the ranking as high as I can. But it will really be amazing if I can be top 20.
Milnay, as we end off, you are a role model and inspiration yourself, being a national champion. If you had a special message for the next generation of squash players, what would you say to them?
I think it's very important just to never miss sessions. If you need to be disciplined and have a commitment, and always pitch up for your session, be on time, and get yourself in that rhythm, never in that structure. And being disciplined like that, you're definitely going to go places.
Milnay, Game On Magazine would like to take this opportunity to thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. It's been an absolute privilege learning more about yourself and squash. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's a big pleasure. It was fun.